technology should allow parents to participate with it rather than replacing the parent. So they're two good ideas, but they're not necessarily problems. So like a problem that you could adapt this kind of framework to would be getting kids to eat healthy food. That's a problem. So you could start with, it could just be a fruit movement, getting kids to eat fruit. So you take your character or whatever cute AR you've built, and then you focus on being able to have affordances that will allow the parent to customize the interaction with that little character to enable them to get the kid to eat fruit. So if it's as simple as that, then you can actually test that on a really big global market, because you've got users all over the world who are parents who are struggling to get their kids to eat fruit. So that's going to be global. Then if you can actually say that you've had 100,000 people all over the planet using this, and you can collect user feedback through that the whole time, then you can take that to the investors and use that to validate the model and say, look at this, the elements that are valuable here are the machine learning and the interaction between parent and technology, and look at the great social impact that this has had. So the size of the opportunity, not just for technology but for social impact as well. You can use all of that stuff there, and you've got evidence to say that there's a market, to say that you're already off the ground and running. And then instead of asking for 500k, you can ask for 5 mil. And the next one can have an additional affordance. So this time, instead of it just being the banana, it's a grandparent or it's a whatever. And then you might try, like, in terms of each MVP, you might actually test a different market or sub-market for that. So like there's, as we were discussing earlier, there's a difference between creating something that the parent who's like a tech-savvy young hipster parent that uses their phone all the time, who can navigate a complex interface for customization, versus a grandparent who like struggles to use their iPhone. You can't have the same product necessarily for both. So you maybe test different markets with different MVPs, and you could end up combining some of them, or you'll know which one to invest further in because it's gaining the most traction. But that way you'll go to market quicker. You'll have a brand from the start, and you can actually kind of, I guess, put your mark on this as your idea. Otherwise you could run into 100 problems along the way, and it could be that a problem with the technology, or it could be that you've misread what the users even want. So you're almost setting yourself up to fail a lot quicker the more variables you put into it, whereas if you just start with one affordance at a time, I think you create a better road.
Makes sense. We just start with a small feature which we have right now, and we validate the idea with the actual market and people.
Because one small thing could be huge, like just if you can get kids to want to interact with fruit more because of this fun AR kind of character on their screen, then that's massive in itself. Like that parents would love that. And then you could even like with each updated version of the app, you can add in an extra affordance, but you've already got a massive user base using the app. So then they're already going to trial the next one, rather than you going to have to go out and do all that community creation again from the start. You can just enhance it as you go with each iteration that you release to market.
Got it.
It's hard.
Cool. Thanks a lot.